Thank you very much, Bridget, and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all had a great lunch and you're ready to tackle the rest of the day and learn about some additional information this afternoon. So I'm going to kick off the afternoon with a review of the Nursing Home Compare website. And during this review, I would like to be sure to point out to you where you can locate the SNF QRP quality measure results, as well as some other features that are available on the Nursing Home Compare website. As with the other presentations that you've seen this morning, this presentation also includes a list of acronyms and their associated definitions for your reference. Following this training, it is my hope that you will be able to navigate the Nursing Home Compare website and locate the publicly reported SNF QRP quality measure results. And I also hope that you'll have a better understanding of some of the additional features that are available on Nursing Home Compare. So let's go ahead and get started. In the next few slides, you'll see that you'll receive an overview of the functionality of the Nursing Home Compare website and the steps that can be taken to locate a provider and subsequently the quality measure results. To access the Nursing Home Compare website, you will perform an internet browse search using the keywords medicare.gov/Nursing Home Compare. Once you arrive at the Nursing Home Compare homepage, which is the picture that you see on these slides right now, you can bookmark this page so that you can easily access the website in the future. As I mentioned, shown here is the Nursing Home Compare homepage. You'll notice that there is a menu bar of blue buttons that display along the top of the page. If you wish to access the homepage at any time that you're on the Nursing Home Compare webpage, you simply would select the Nursing Home Compare Home button, and you would return to the homepage where you can modify or search for new providers. The Nursing Home Compare website allows users to view star ratings, health and fire safety inspection results, staffing, quality of resident care, and penalty information for nursing homes. To access explanatory information about each of these categories and to learn about how Nursing Home Compare can help you, you would select the About Nursing Home Compare button. Oops, my apologies. To learn additional information about the sources of data that are reported on the Nursing Home Compare website, or to learn about the quality of resident care data collection periods, technical information, or using government data, you would select the About the Data button. If you wish to access useful resources regarding resident rights, how to file a complaint, how to locate state agency contacts, how to locate helpful websites and publications, or identify alternatives to nursing homes, you would select the Resources button. And finally, for assistance in navigating the Nursing Home Compare website and using its functionality, you would select the Help button if you needed assistance. Now, there are several different ways in which you could search for a provider and drill down to additional information about that nursing home provider on Nursing Home Compare. And we're going to look at it and talk about a few different methods. After entering the information for your search criteria, whether that is searching for a provider by zip code, searching for a provider by state and city combination, or by state alone, you will have the option to enter the nursing home name if you choose to search for one nursing home alone. Of course, you're not required to just search for one nursing home, but if that is your intent, then using the functionality to search for a single nursing home might be beneficial to you. If you choose to search for a specific provider, Once you have entered your desired criteria, that being the zip code, the city and state combination, or the state, then you will be allowed to begin entering the name of the nursing facility in a text field box. Once you start entering the name of the nursing facility, the system or the web page will automatically populate for you a list of those providers that match the search criteria that you've entered. Once you see the list of the matching facility names, then you can simply select the desired facility in order to drill down to additional information about that facility. So here's an example of a search that was performed using the zip code. So you can see that in the location text field box, the zip code of 12345 was entered. This particular user wished to search for one particular facility. Therefore, they began entering the name of the facility in the nursing home name text field box. Listed below the text field box, you'll see that the website found a matching facility name, and it displayed it and it is available now for selection from the drop-down list. Once the desired facility name is selected, then you simply select the search button, and you will be presented with a page where you can learn additional information about that facility. So it's important to remember that how you perform this search will control the results that are presented. So we just saw a search by zip code and a specific facility name. But of course, as I mentioned, you can also search by city and state and by state alone. If you perform a search by zip code, the system or the web page will return a list of all of the facilities in that zip code including a 25-mile radius around that zip code. So you'll have a good number of facilities from which you can select. If you perform a search by city and state, the same idea occurs. All of the facilities within a 25-mile radius of that city and state value entered will display in a list for you. And of course, if you perform just a search by state, all of the providers within that selected state will display. So let's take a look at this result list here. There's several things that could be beneficial to you. So the initial results that are displayed on this screenshot show the list of facilities that there were facilities. Sorry, I can't see the number. There might be 92 nursing homes within the 25-mile radius of the zip code that was entered. And those facilities will be listed in alphabetical order on the left side of the web page. Notice on the right side of the web page, there is functionality available that will allow you to modify your search. For example, if you choose to change the way that you search for your nursing home, you could change the information in the location text field, and you would also on this page be allowed to change the radius for your search. So the default search includes a radius of 25 miles. However, in the drop-down box, you will find that there are other options available to you. For example, you could search for all facilities within 1 mile of the zip code, within 5 miles of the zip code, up to 200 miles from the zip code. And of course, the functionality is also available that will allow you to search by an individual facility name should you wish to do so. Moving back to the left side of the page, as I mentioned, you'll see that the facilities are listed in alphabetical order. So let's take a look at the first facility, the Caring Nursing Center. Beneath the facility name, you will see that the address is displayed and a green button that indicates that you would like that facility to be added to compare. So as you identify the facility that you would like to view additional information for, you would simply select the Add to Compare button, and that facility name then would be populated on the top of the web page above the button that says Compare Now. The Nursing Home Compare website allows you to compare up to 3 facilities. So, as I mentioned, whenever if you have 1 to 3 facilities that you would like to compare, simply select the Add to Compare button, and those facilities will be listed at the top. And once you're satisfied with the facilities that you'd like to compare, you would simply select the Compare Now button, and then the detailed information about those facilities would be displayed to you. Let's take a look at the facility information in the list page. So looking at the Caring Nursing Center, you'll see that there are several columns of information that display to the right of the facility name. The first column is the overall star rating. And in this particular example, you'll see that the overall star rating for this particular provider was 4 stars. And that means that that particular provider overall was performing at a level above average. The next column over is the health inspections column. You'll see that this provider also received 4 stars for this particular domain, and that means that they performed above average for their health inspections. Same is true for the staffing. In this particular example, they performed above average. But when we look at the quality measure performance, you'll see that they did have a lesser performance. They received 2 stars for their performance, meaning that they performed below average for that performance. And it is the health inspections, staffing, and quality measure information domains that are combined to formulate the overall star rating. One other column I'd like to mention to you. So, as I mentioned, the default distance that is included in the initial search is a 25-mile radius. You'll see that in the last column, the distance identifies that this particular facility is 0.9 miles from the zip code that was used for the search criteria. So that will help give you an idea of how that provider's location corresponds with the zip code or the search criteria that you entered. Here's a closer look at the information for one particular facility. Now, as I mentioned, you are allowed to search for 1 to 3 facilities. If you are searching for multiple facilities, then a page that will be titled Compare Nursing Homes Now will display. However, since this search was performed by 1 facility only, you'll see that you'll just get results for that single facility. So let's take a closer look at the type of information that's provided about each of the facilities. You'll notice that there are 6 tabs of information available for you to view. The General Information tab, which identifies such things as the physical location of the nursing home, the overall star rating for all components or domains that were used to calculate that star rating, as well as the individual star ratings for the individual domains will be listed. And those individual domains, again, are the health inspections, staffing, and quality of care measures. And so you will see the star ratings overall and individually as well. From this tab, you'll also be able to identify additional information about the facility, such as the number of beds in the facility, the nursing home's participation status, meaning an identification whether the facility is Medicare certified, Medicaid certified, or Medicaid and Medicare certified together. You would also be able to identify whether this provider was located within a hospital and the type of ownership for the provider. The Health Inspections tab reports information about the nursing home's health inspections, complaints, and any resultant citations from those inspections. Now, as you know, nursing homes that participate in the Medicare and/or Medicaid programs must meet the standards required by the government to ensure resident safety. So the Fire Safety Inspection tab displays the results of the fire safety inspections. The next tab over is the Staffing tab, and this tab will provide information about the different types of nursing home staff and the average amount of time per resident that those staff spend caring for the residents. The next tab is the Quality of Resident Care tab, and this allows you to view quality measure results for the MDS 3.0 quality measures, the SNF QRP quality measures, and the claims-based measures that are publicly reported. The last tab is the Penalties tab. When a nursing home receives a serious citation or fails to correct a citation over a long period of time, this nursing home could be subject to a penalty. Now, the penalty could be a fine, or it could be a denied payment from Medicare. So if you're interested in identifying whether the facility has encountered a fine or a Medicare denial, then you would select the Penalties tab to review that information. Of course, as you can imagine, you can move from one tab to another, simply selecting the different names on the tabs, and you'll continually see information for that same provider. Now, of course, today I want to focus on the SNF QRP quality measure results. So as such, we are going to focus on the information that is on the Quality of Resident Care tab. Once the Quality of Resident Care tab is selected, you will see the overall star rating for the particular facility for that domain. In this example, this particular facility had 5 stars for this domain, which means that they were performing much above average. For the short stay and long stay quality measures, CMS assigns nursing homes a Quality of Resident Care star rating based upon their performance in those measures. These and other measures reflect, on average, how well the nursing homes care for the residents in their facility. This tab will display information for 2 groups of residents: the long stay residents, which are those residents who have been in the facility over 100 days, and the short stay residents, and those are the residents who are in the facility for 100 days or less, or those residents who are under the Medicare Part A skilled nursing facility benefit. So you are allowed, as I said, to view the measure results for the long stay and short stay residents. To locate the quality measure results for the SNF QRP measures, you would simply select the arrow adjacent to the short stay residents link. Once the page expands, you'll be able to view the results for the measures used in the 5-star calculation and the results for the influenza and pneumococcal vaccination measures. Scrolling through the list of measures, you'll find a section titled The Additional Quality Measures, and you can see that section heading has been highlighted on the screenshot. It is within this section where you'll locate the quality measure results for the SNF QRP measures. You'll notice that beneath the Additional Quality Measures title, the list of the SNF QRP measures will display on the left side of the table. Following this the measure names, you will see that there are 3 columns to the right. The Nursing Home Compare website reports 3 types of values. The facility percent, so you can see that value will be displayed in the first column beneath the facility name. The state averages are displayed for all measures except the SNF QRP measures. The state averages are not calculated for these measures. And then finally, the last column on the right reports the national average. You might also notice beneath the measure names that there are indicators identifying the type of measure or what the best score would be for this particular measure. So take, for example, the percent of residents with pressure ulcers that are new or worsened. You can see that there's text displayed indicating that a lower percentage is better. So that's important information to review as well. Some takeaway information about the SNF QRP measures are that those measures were first reported publicly in the fall of 2018. When you're looking at the measure results table, there may be instances when those data are not available, and you'll see that displayed in our state averages column because, as I mentioned, state averages are not calculated for the SNF QRP measures. You'll also notice a small numeric value that displays adjacent to the not available text. And if you were to hover over that numeric value, you would be presented with a description that identifies the reason that those data are not available. The reasons when data might not be available would be if those measures were under data suppression, if there was a low denominator size, or if the data were not available for the particular reporting period. Here is a list of the assessment-based and claims-based quality measures, and I know those were touched upon today, so we won't spend a great deal of time reviewing those. If you'd like to learn more information about the quality measures themselves, you can scroll back to the top of the page of the Quality of Resident Care page, select the Learn More About What Quality of Resident Care Information Can Tell You About the Nursing Home, and you'll be presented with the What Information Can You Get About the Nursing Homes. Notice that there is a link highlighted in yellow for the Quality of Resident Care. If you select this link, then you are presented with a table of information about the quality measures. You will want to, in order to learn more information about the SNF QRP quality measures, scroll to the section of the page that is labeled with the additional quality measures title once again. You'll see that the quality measures are listed, as well as some questions and answers that will provide additional information. For example, the "what does this show you" question tells you that the measure results, the percentage of residents who developed new or worsened pressure ulcers, for example, it tells you for the measure, it gives you a description of the measure. And for the pressure ulcer measure, it tells you the number of those residents who had a new pressure ulcer or worsened pressure ulcer. Again, you'll see the indication telling whether this particular measure, whether that measure should a lower percentage is better or a higher percentage is better. Beneath this information, you'll see that there is more descriptive information about why this measure is important. So please feel free to scroll to this page and take a look at the information that's available for the SNF QRP measures. And I know that was a quick overview of the Nursing Home Compare website. Hopefully you've learned how to navigate to the website, and that you now understand how to locate the SNF QRP quality measure results. And hopefully also you learned about a little additional functionality that's available on the Nursing Home Compare website. Please feel free to register any questions you might have regarding this presentation, and thank you for your attention.